Hello everyone, welcome to Gianni's team selection video ahead of game week 3. My name is Az, and of course, I'm joined by the man himself, Mr. Gianni Points. How are you?
I'm very well, mate. Good to be here. I'm so excited for our chat. I always am, mate. I genuinely we obviously chat off air, but I say it all the time. Like it's one of my favorite chats of the week. So
Oh,
I'm delighted to see that people are tuning in for a third or fourth season of these team reveal videos, and hopefully you'll enjoy the ride. What you won't get is uh, an incredible rank and finish. I won't get there because seem to play the game stupidly at times. But you'll hopefully get some entertainment and some tips on the way. And we'll be talking very soon about my moves last week and how they didn't pay off. But geez, I was in it to win it, and I'm so happy I went there despite the outcome.
if you're here for a ride, I think this is a good week to start because yeah,
Yeah.
you definitely had a bit of a ride on that. I think you're being too hard on yourself. I think you're very credible. You're very knowledgeable about the game. You know what you're talking about. You can offer a lot of insight as well as entertainment. And I expect you to finish high this week, Gianni. So
Oh, thanks, mate.
sorry, not this week, this year, not this week. There's a few things that went against you this week, but this season, yeah, you'll be
Yeah,
fine.
I reckon I'll finish somewhere between 10 and 20k because I have so many ranks in the teens. I'm always outside of 10, but within 20. Yeah, I looked the other day because I was asked for a bio. I think nine of my last 11 ranks. So nine of my last 11 seasons were in the top 100k. So, I'm not someone that's going to go have loads of 10k finishes, but I'm consistently 9 out of 11 in the top 100k, which I think at the moment feels like an okay rank because the game has become so difficult in terms of securing those good ranks. Like 10k is now very, very difficult. Yet 5, 10 years ago, if you had a scout membership and you were an engaged manager, disgraceful if you didn't get 10k, in my opinion.
I'm so impressed that you've managed to both undersell yourself and oversell yourself in the space of like 2 minutes. Don't listen to me because I'm not going to finish very highly. Probably only about 10 to 20k, something like that. There'll be
But
people
that's
listening to
not
this.
elite, is it? That's good. It's not elite.
Uh,
Elite is still 10k, in my opinion.
yeah, I mean, I do agree. 10k is always a target, but I think a 10 to 20k finish would be I'd take that. I think. Well, I wouldn't take it, but I'd be happy with it at the end of the season.
Yeah, I'd be happy with. I think I was 16k last year, and I was happy with it, but I wasn't. Yeah, I wasn't pleased with it. I wasn't delighted with it. But yeah, there we go.
Good, good. Right, we're going to talk about your game week 2. We're going to look at your team ahead of game week 3. Just before we do that, I just want to talk about Fantasy 5, who are partnered with Scout this season. If you haven't checked out Fantasy 5 before, it's a completely free to play game. There's links in the description below. You can win £10,000 every week just by picking 5 players across 5 games who outscore their points target. Gianni, we tried it last season, didn't we? We
We
nearly
were one
got
off
there.
one
We were
week, weren't
one
we?
off. We were one off one week, which was very disappointing. If you have a look at my team for last week, you can see I went for Vardy, De Bruyne, Harry Maguire, Emerson, and your boy, who we'll be talking about, Darwin Nunez. I managed to pick 2 players who got minus points in Maguire and Nunez. I managed to pick De Bruyne, who hauled but didn't reach his target because I think his target was 12 or 13 and he got 11. And then Vardy and Emerson got nothing. It wasn't possible to win last week. You could have picked a player from Arsenal, Leicester, City, Bournemouth, Brentford United, and Chelsea Spurs. There's plenty of players there who did haul. But Liverpool Palace did not have a player who outscored their target, which is surprising in a kind of 2-all
Very much so.
draw. But when you get a real shock result like that, and quite shock scorers as well, it's not easy. So yeah, it's a great game. Do give it a go. I've got some QR codes as well here that you can try. On the one on the left is for the UK. The one on the right is for the rest of the world. If you don't win the 10k prize, there's still loads of other weekly prizes, kits of choice. There's monthly prizes as well. They've given away things like a TV and all that kind of stuff. So give Fantasy 5 a go. And at the end of this video, Jenny and I will pick our team ahead of the next deadline. Right.
Sounds
Let's
good.
talk. Yeah. Right. And we're going to win that 10 grand, Gianni, and go to Vegas.
Vegas.
Yeah, baby. Oh, we're both in Vegas at the same time. It's got to happen now.
It's always Vegas, isn't it? It's just
always
always a
Vegas.
thing. You get loads of money. Let's fly to Vegas tomorrow. If I'm going to win the lottery, where am I going to go? Vegas tomorrow. Don't know
Vegas.
why.
Woo.
There's loads of good places in the world.
Yeah. Well, we could turn that 10 grand into 20 grand or lose it instantly.
Yeah, I think that's the key, isn't it? Vegas is that place, you've got money, you can just have the most unbelievable night out, probably.
Yep. I've been. Have you been? I've been.
I have. I've been twice. Once was with my wife, and once was on a stag do, and they were very different trips.
I bet. Yeah. I went with my partner at the time, and yeah, it was good. But I can imagine on a stag, it's a very different experience.
God, I've got so many stories. I'll tell you offline.
We should do a whole podcast about it. Speaking of podcasts, this is where we're at this week with your team. 63 points for you. It's Ward in goal. It's Trent with 3 with a surprise bonus point. Cancelo with 11 and Neco Williams with 7. Nice defence. All returning, if you can call Trent's 3 a return. And Ward. Marcelli with 8, Salah with 2, Bailey with 1, Pereira with 3. Haaland captain with only 10 points.
Ouch.
Yep. Gabriel Jesus with the big 19. And then
No.
I hate to say it, it was your transfer. It was the boy you've been talking up. The Gianni Points darling, Darwin Nunez with -2. And then Iverson, Patterson, Perisic with 4, and Reed on the bench. I mean, let's talk with the big. Let's start with the big one. It was the transfer of Darwin Nunez. He was popular going into this. You were in a good position because you had Kane and you could make him move down early. You didn't have to
Brilliant FPL management.
Just elite. Wow, beautiful. Chef's kiss management. I mean, it looked like a great move on paper, didn't it? What did you? How did you feel when he got sent off? What did you make of it all?
Honestly, I smiled. I laughed. I was just. It was one of those like in years gone by. I'd get angry with things like that. I had a little laugh to myself and went straight to my phone, obviously, because I was like, God, Twitter's going to be at me for this. If you can't, like, yeah, if you can't smile in game when you're playing a game when things go wrong, you just have to look at the bigger picture and go, oh, maybe I'm in too deep. And I've definitely been in too deep on way too many occasions. But this season, that incident and my reaction to it showed me that I've slightly moved on a little bit as an FPL manager this season, which I'm delighted to say. And that was one of my targets at the start of the season, was to not take FPL as seriously. And I think there's probably a few reasons why I'm able to do that. One was the birth of my daughter 10 weeks ago. And I was like, reality check, like that's the game, that's real life, and that's really matters, and that doesn't as much. So things like that helped. And I was put to the test because the amount I'd spoken about Darwin, so the amount of time I'd spent on my game week 1 team so I could have Kane and Haaland with a view to going to Darwin, it was all so perfect. It almost felt a little bit that my points in game week 1 weren't brilliant, but I thought come game week 2, the fact I could be really early to that Darwin bandwagon, and I felt people, if he had gone and scored a brace against Crystal Palace, I felt people were going to have to rip up their teams to get him in because the fixtures moving forward with United, then Bournemouth, the fixtures look so good. I thought people were going to go, not only do I have to rip my team to get to him, I've got to sell a good Liverpool asset to get to him because I've already got 3 Liverpool. Like, I felt so smart with it, mate. Like,
Beautiful mind, just like all your charts,
honestly,
and spreadsheets everywhere.
Yeah, and there were, like, of course, there were compromises to be able to do that. Like, it meant in game week 1, I didn't have double City defence, or I didn't have Trippier, or I didn't have an Arsenal or Chelsea defender. So I missed out on some points there, but I thought it's all going to be worth it. And look, the game against Palace started. Darwin looked good, missed a big chance, missed another big chance just before half time. I thought, fine, second half, the goals will come. And even if they don't, I've got him for that United fixture. And how amazing is that going to be up against Lisandro Martinez? And then he went and got sent off. So look, it is what it is. I had a smile to myself. I'm annoyed by it, but I'm not going to let it get to me. I'll go in different directions now, and it's going to be quite fun because I'm going in a different direction, and I might go and get points from my replacements that I wouldn't have got if I had still owned Darwin. So, yeah, it is what it is, as they say.
Well, I mean, and then the bigger kicker was Kane scoring, of course.
Oh my goodness,
that you sold. So
8 points for Kane, -2 for Darwin. So a 10-point loss, and also 2 free transfers lost as well.
Yeah.
Like, and what's the value of those transfers? So I'm way down, mate.
Oh, it's horrendous. I mean, I got -1 from Dean, and when he scores the own goal in the 88th minute, you know, but my first reaction was I think I threw my phone across the room, but then I just thought, what can you do? Like, you know,
out your hands.
You kind of got to laugh a little bit. We'll talk about what you're kind of thinking of doing with Darwin and things, because again, the other thing was you're in a good position because you'd taken that money out of Kane. you could then strengthen the rest of your team. You're
Yeah.
now going to have to deal with Darwin and then make the rest of your team's weaker because you were threemium, but you were going to strengthen that. So you're a bit from being ahead of the pack. You've now
Yeah.
you must feel a little bit behind, which is
Oh, I am behind.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm way behind.
yeah, very
It's
very
that one move changes everything.
yeah, very frustrating. Let's talk about Haaland quickly. Crazy captain ownership, crazy transfers in,
Yeah.
8 touches against Bournemouth. Lots to talk about his kind of role. We don't need to talk too much about him. I think we both agree that he's not exactly a bad option going forward, and everyone needs to be rushing and selling him. But
Yeah.
what did you make of the performance against Bournemouth?
He was one pass from Foden away from having a double digit, right? If he gets a goal and assist, he gets bonus, and we're all going, what a great captaincy option. I know he only had 8 or 9 touches, whatever it was. But Foden squares that ball. He still gets the assist. I think this team is obviously set up for him to do well, and Pep has said that post-match with Foden needs to pass that ball. It's different now. We're playing with a number 9. So he's going to get tons of service, even against low block teams. I'm not worried. I do question whether or not he's going to be the guy we captain quite often. And that's not just because we're not necessarily seeing him involved that much. It's more to me, the captaincy question mark comes down to the fact that this guy's not getting 90 minutes. And when we captain someone, we want someone that's always on the pitch, right? And Salah historically has got so many goals late in games when the game's already won and the other team are now having a little go and Salah's left so much space. And he goes and gets a lot of points in that last 10, 15 minutes. We know Salah, we know Kane. They'll be on the pitch for 90 more often than not. Early indications show that Haaland, especially when the midweek fixtures start, he's going to continue to get subbed at 75, maybe at 60. Like, it's one to monitor for captaincy because of the minutes on pitch.
Yep, interesting. Let's take a look ahead then as we go forward. Oh, actually, no, look, one player I want to mention before we go do that is Williams, Nico Williams, because he was in your starting lineup, and I think that probably raised a few eyebrows, especially when you've got like Andreas Pereira there and Bailey. That's your kind of sacrifice for having this kind of 3-room draft. Yeah. But Williams was absolutely superb, I thought, in that match.
So good.
7 points was unlucky, I think, for the amount of efforts he had and chances created.
Yeah, I mean, you can argue he was lucky to get the clean sheet with West Ham hitting the woodwork a couple of times and missing a pen. Yeah. But most touches of any player on the pitch, 4 shots, 2 on target, big chances created. This guy's doing everything. And yeah, what that big chance missed. So Nico Williams, when he's in good fixtures, will be on my 11 regularly. The home advantage is always big for newly promoted teams as well. When you've got your Bournemouth, your Fulham, and your Forest players, if they stay up, if they stay in the Premier League, it'll be the home form that does it. And with the FPL assets, when you've got them in good home fixtures, especially, you start them.
Yep, very good. We'll see if you're starting him in just a second. If you are enjoying this video, do make sure you subscribe to the channel and give us a like. I really want to push us towards 80,000 subs. We're around 78,000. You can see our graphics a little bit updated, but it shows the progress that we're making. Also, shout out over to Fantasy Football Scout, because this is your last chance to lock in last season's price, which is £2.49 a month billed annually. It's going up to £2.99.
I can't believe that, mate. The value's insane. What the idea that people wouldn't want to take that couple of quid a month, it's just unbelievable the amount of you get for that. When you compare it to people's patrons and things like that, you are getting a wealth of everything through the Scout membership.
Yeah, I mean, stats tables, members articles, members videos, all the tools we've got, comparison tools, everything. If you haven't checked it out, just go and have a look and see what you kind of make of it, because there's a hell of a lot on there, and if you are going to sign up this season, now is the best time to do it. So ends Saturday, the Game Week 3 deadline. So last chance to lock in, and once you've locked in that price, you lock it in for life as well. As long as you renew every year, you never pay a penny more. So let's take a look at your team then ahead of Game Week 4. It's on the screen. It's Ward in goal. It's Trent, Cancelo, Zinchenko, Perisic, Martinelli, Salah, Pereira, Haaland, Jesus, and Darwin. Obviously, is banned for 3 matches. And then Iverson, Williams, Bailey, Reed on your bench with 1.3 million in your bank. You've already made a transfer. Tell me about it.
I sold Patterson at Everton, 4.0 defender for Zinchenko last night to beat the Zinchenko price rise. We're recording this on Wednesday. Tuesday night, Zinchenko was due to rise. I definitely want triple Arsenal in some way or another. I like Ramsdale. I prefer Zinchenko. He's the standout Arsenal defender. The positions he's adopting, that Cancelo style positions. Arteta's Pep 2.0. This Arsenal team is a weakened version of Man City in everything. They're even recruiting Man City players in Jesus and Zinchenko. The roles they're playing in Zinchenko is trying to be a Cancelo. Bournemouth, Fulham, Aston Villa up next. Yeah, like I could afford Reece James, and I would love Reece James, but that doesn't allow me then to go get a really good Bailey replacement. So I went to Zinchenko, who's not as good an option as Reece in my opinion, but in terms of value, potentially as good. And it allows me to improve Bailey next week. Obviously, I'll be taking a price drop on Bailey. The reason in my 11 as I've got Darwin in there at the moment is because that is a transfer I am making this week. What I didn't want to do was put a Leon Bailey or a Nico Williams in my 11 and then have to read through all the YouTube comments of, oh, look what he's done. He's going to start Nico Williams this week away at Everton. He's just said he only going to play him at the home games. So I haven't done it, because I know I'll get all those comments. And now I'm going to get, oh, doesn't he not know Darwin's suspended for 3 games? Look, I just haven't made my transfer yet because there's no point.
God,
because Darwin wasn't
critical of our viewers.
honestly,
as if they would do such a thing.
The Darwin price drop did come last night, but I already had 0.1 in it. So for again, all those that are going to tell me Darwin's dropped in price, well, I paid 9.0 for him and I'm going to sell him for 9.0. And I might need to make that move tonight or tomorrow night. I might be able to make it Saturday morning, but I'll be monitoring the price sites. But yeah, Darwin out has to happen, guys. But it will be for someone that goes into my starting 11.
So who do you sell Darwin for, though? I mean, you've got 1.3 million in the bank. It's going to cost you a hit to do it. You can't go up because you can't go back up to Kane, for example.
Yeah.
So you have to go down. I mean, I can probably guess who you're looking at because there's only really one other striker around, which is Tony, right?
Yeah, there are a couple. It is Tony. Yeah. So I didn't have to go in. Yeah. If I didn't go Zinchenko, I could have gone back to Kane. I had the exact funds to go back to Harry Kane. And I was looking at Kane and then Bailey to Xhaka as 2 transfers. But if I did that, I'd have no money in the bank. I'd have all these 4.0 players still. Zero flexibility, because if you buy Kane, you don't want to sell him, right? So I decided to go, no, let's think of the squad. Zinchenko in. And then Darwin, if he comes down to a Mitrovic, Tony style price point, it then allows me to go Bailey up to an 8.2. Gives me 8.2 to replace Bailey, or 8.1 known there's been a price drop. So again, I can shop at Luis Diaz or Foden next week. So I'm convinced I need to go down to, I think, Tony. However, worth consideration to Mitrovic and my boy Kai Havertz. I'm not going to go Havertz because I just don't think Chelsea attack is worth investing in when you can get Reece James, who still covers that attack, or even Mason Mount, who I could buy next week. So I think it will be Tony. The fixtures are so good. I like Brentford this season. They do look good, but they won't be playing United every week, so I can't expect 4 goals every time.
I'm going to chuck one thing out there. Any thoughts at all of playing a wild card this week?
I looked at it.
You're not in great shape, let's be honest. I mean, you do Darwin down to Tony. You've then got 3 million.
That's a good 11.
Well, then you've got 3 million in your bank. You've got Ward is awful. Perisic, you might not start. You're playing Pereira.
Perisic is starting. Perisic, everyone's going to buy Perisic next week. He's going to be the most in-demand FPL asset in the game.
Okay. You think? Okay. What if you get news on Saturday morning that he doesn't start?
I won't have enough time to wildcard of about 3 minutes. And I'm at a wedding.
Oh, God, yeah, you definitely.
I'm an usher at a wedding on Saturday, so I won't be able to check that early team news. If he doesn't start, I'm going to have to run with it, and I'm not going to be taking a 4-point hit to sell him. He's going to start I'm convinced of it.
The only reason I ask is because you're having to take a -4 for Darwin, so that's already a -4. You haven't got James, for example, and you're playing Perisic, and there's other players in your team which aren't kind of ideal. I mean, I would say this is close. If I had this team, I would be close to wildcarding. Yeah, I
think if Perisic is a starter, Darwin is Tony, and I've got 3.2 million in the bank to upgrade Bailey to Foden, Mount, or Luis Diaz next week, I think I'm then back in good shape. The only downfall of the team then is is the goalkeepers, is the big thing.
And no James for Chelsea's fixture on.
No James, but you can't have them all. And I might be going Mount in for that 8 million midfielder, or I sell Williams and go Reece James and keep Bailey on the bench to rot and go 5 at the back. If Reece James has a worldie against Leeds, I think he could play right centre back against Leicester in 2 weeks' time. I'm okay with that. Like, you can't have every single one. So no, I think as long as Perisic is a starter, I don't think this team needs a wild card. Potentially, if Perisic isn't a starter, you're right.
Okay. We'll get everyone in the chat, get your comments in. Gianni loves reading all your nice comments about his team, so let us know what you think.
Be gentle
of this. Yeah, interesting. Captain is an interesting one this week.
Yeah.
Salah is the I think is still the obvious choice given what we've seen from United so far. They're not quite right though, are they? No. I know Darwin got the red card and but it's now two draws against teams you'd expected them to beat. The press just isn't quite there. They were brilliant in the first kind of half an hour. They looked like they were going to, run away with it. But it looks to me like if a team can get at them, it unsettles them a lot, and they don't really know how to kind of deal with setbacks. Are United going to cause them a setback? Are they going to get an early goal? It's really hard to see how United can do anything. But
the fans could turn at them as well. The fact is that Old Trafford could work in Liverpool's favour with all the planned protests and the fact that if they go down 1-0, it's going to be a toxic environment. It has been for a long time. Playing at Old Trafford could really suit Liverpool. The concern, I guess, is over that Liverpool midfield, though, isn't it? As you're right, they don't look the same team. And when you take Thiago out that midfield,
it's huge.
And even Henderson, who I'm not his biggest fan, but I see it when he's not there. And you put in Elliott and Milner, like it's a weak midfield three that played against Palace. When you look at when you look at a Spurs, Chelsea, Arsenal, or City midfield three, that midfield that played against Palace wasn't a top 4 midfield. So yeah, but they do have Salah will be my captain, I think. Like, Jesus is a nice option. If you own Harry Kane, he's a nice option. I don't think I'll be looking at Haaland. I like that Newcastle defence at St James's Park. I think that'll be a tough fixture for City. I think they'll win it. But no, it has to be Salah for me.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Jesus is an interesting one because I've got to be honest, I wasn't too sold on him at the start of the season. I saw his ownership, 75%, and I was looking for any way in which I could go against it. Maybe go for Saka at the same price, potentially on penalties. Maybe go. Yeah. I was thinking about going for Tony, for example, but in the end, I just thought, okay, your boy, your new boy. I just thought 8 million for a starting Arsenal striker is too good to pass up. I wasn't expecting him to get a 19-point return though, but not even just a 19-point return, but electric, absolutely electric. The first goal he scored, his role in the team, the position he's playing, everything. He looks absolutely elite. He's your vice. I am tempted by him because I think the ownership on Salah is going to be really high, but I equally just think Liverpool could just absolutely blow United away. And Bournemouth looked, I know they lost 4-0, but they put up a bit of a fight. They still are fairly solid.
They were solid in game week 1, weren't they, against Villa? We didn't see a clean sheet coming there. And it goes back to the newly promoted teams and the 12th man there and the being able to park the bus. But that Arsenal attack is so good. The ceiling's high there for that Arsenal attack if they score early. If they don't score early, it could be a 1-0 win. And then you go, oh, why didn't I captain Salah? So I think I just want to see Salah against Maguire and Martinez.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I also agree.
Have loads of fun with that. Yeah. And he might play Luis Diaz down the middle. If Firmino's back, then he plays, sure. But we could see Salah even more central. We don't quite know what that front three is going to look like unless Firmino's fit. Because obviously no Jota either.
Yeah, very good. Well, good luck this week.
I'll need it, mate. I will need it. And it isn't the team I want. Like the Tony thing isn't, I wouldn't be shopping in that for a Tony if my hand wasn't forced. So in some way, if Tony goes on this incredible run for the next 3 weeks, I'll look at it and go, probably got quite lucky. I'd rather spend 7 million on a defender than a forward. If you offered me Reece James or Tony now, I'd probably take Reece James.
Yeah,
and he's a 6 million forward defender. So, yeah, my hand's been forced, and I'm going to keep money in that attack because I hope there becomes other assets that I want to jump on, like Mitrovic in a few games' time. That could be a nice move when Fulham's fixtures turn. We'll see.
Well, I've got plenty of reaction images of you for the thumbnail next week, so we can.
Oh God.
There's plenty of choice depending on how it goes. Excellent stuff. Let's talk Fantasy Five.
Yep.
Then, just before you go, let's talk our picks for this coming week. So our first game to talk about is Leicester versus Southampton. Leicester players priced quite high. Vardy 8.5, for example. I don't think we're going to go there. Maddison 7.5. Tricky game to call. I quite like Dewsbury Hall or Tielemans at 6.5. Tielemans is on pens, for example.
I like the Leicester. I think we go Leicester attack because there is one thing you can back Leicester to do, and that is score.
Let's go for Tielemans then. I mean, Ward-Prowse is 6.5, which I also quite like. I don't think we touch defence of either side.
God,
so let's go Tielemans with pens.
Yeah, happy with that.
Beautiful. Everton Forest. Dennis has been added to the game. 6.5 for Forest.
What's Nico Williams?
Nico Williams, good shout. He's 6.5, so he's going to need, a goal takes him over it, which, Everton's attack as well was absolutely awful.
He could get a clean sheet. You wouldn't be surprised, and then he gets an assist.
Yeah, I don't mind it at all. Gordon, for example, 7.5 for Everton. I think you have to go for a Forest player.
Yeah. Let's go with momentum. Nico Williams.
Let's go with Nico Williams. Beautiful. He's in. Bournemouth, Arsenal. I think we've got to go for an Arsenal player here. Gabriel Jesus 10.5.
Wow.
Though, the Bournemouth players are all very cheap. They're all the midfielders are 5.5.
We can't. What about Zinchenko?
I bought Zinchenko as well this week.
Come on, we have to. We both just bought him in FPL.
He's 6.5, so he'll need a goal. A clean sheet isn't enough.
Assist and a clean sheet.
Assist and a clean sheet, you think? Yeah. Martinelli 8.5, Odegaard 7.5. There's no one really standing out here. I think you either go really cheap and you pick one of these Bournemouth boys. Some of them are 4.5. They only need, like Lerma, Cook, only need an assist and they're through. But okay, let's go for Zinchenko. He's in. Beautiful. Leeds, Chelsea. We've got the informed Rodrigo at 6.5. Havertz, you mentioned, at 6.5.
Oh, that's great value.
Yeah, you like?
Yeah. What Mount and Sterling?
Mount's 8.5, so is Sterling.
6.5 for Havertz is great value.
So he needs more than a goal, though. He'd need 2 goals.
Give it him.
Reece James, 9.5. That's a goal and a clean sheet. I found it.
Go on. If Cucurella is 7.5 or lower, we like him.
Cucurella 6.5.
Yeah, done.
Got to be. He's on
corners as well.
He's on set pieces, corners. Yeah, Cucurella, easy choice. And then Newcastle City is the final game. Haaland 9.5. Where's De Bruyne? De Bruyne 10.5. They've gone for a slightly more price. I think there's quite an obvious one here. You've got Wilson at 6.5. Willock's cheap at 5.5. We just need a goal, but I think we probably go for City. I like Gundogan 7.5.
Oh yeah, I like that. He's getting in some very nice positions. Do you remember a year ago we all had Gundogan for a little phase? We might be going back there.
Yeah, I like Cancelo as well, but he's 8.5, so he's quite pricey. So I think we go for Gundogan right at 7.5. That's a goal and a clean sheet, and he gets it. Remember, there's no bonus points with any of this. Beautiful. So that's our team. Tielemans, Williams, Zinchenko, Cucurella and Gundogan. If you're interested in playing, there's a link in the description. Check out the QR code as well in like an earlier screen as well. But get your picks in before Saturday and try and beat us and try and win 10 grand. Gianni, thank you so much for joining me as always. We'll be back next week.
I'm dreading next week.
Yeah, I think I might be as well. I wouldn't be surprised if that World Cup button was hit. But
yeah, I'm not going to hit it this week, but I could be forced into a wild card next. You're right. Perisic being a starter could change a lot of things.
Yeah, cool. Well, enjoy the wedding.
Thanks, mate.
And forget about FPL for a while, and we'll come back to this next week.
Go well. Good luck, guys.
See ya.